Hello class, this is me, Mr. C, and today we're going to start painting. Today we are going to turn this circle into a sphere. So, understanding paint, right? Today we're using watercolor. Really, it's the same gradients that we've used before with the graphite pencils. However, instead of less pressure, meaning our color or tone becomes lighter, it's more water that makes that lighter. So this is my paint when there's less water. Now this is that same paint with more water. And you could see the difference between the two. So now I'm going to create a gradient. So again, the more water I have, the lighter it becomes, okay? Let's start trying to get a little bit of color in here as well. So this is blue, very, very light. Now this is that same blue with less water. Now this is that same blue with even less water. Even less. And you can see the darkness there. So let's go on to the sphere. Again, more water, the lighter your tone. Less water, the darker your tone. Okay? So in the beginning, I don't want this sphere to be too dark. So I'm going to add a base, just like we do with everything else. And remember, if my light's coming this way, that means that the shadow is going to be underneath. I'm going to get a little bit more paint. Remember, less water. I'm going to have a very expressive brush stroke. Here we go. A little bit more water. Now I'm going to come back in when this is dry and add a little bit darker tones at the bottom. So if you notice, I'm not going to continuously work on this because it's still very wet, okay? And if you do that, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to make the paper too damp, and it might get muddy, and it might mess up. So what I'm going to do instead of working directly with this is I'm going to start adding that shadow on this side, okay? So a little bit of water. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. It doesn't take too long to dry because, again, this is watercolor. If we were working with acrylic, I would say the dry time would be 2 to 3 minutes. You know, the thicker the paint, obviously, it's going to take probably 10, 15. But if you do a light coating, probably a minute, 2 minutes. With watercolor, it's a little different, right? I'd give it about a minute to 30 seconds. So in the meantime, you know, waiting for this to dry, I'm not just going to sit around because I do not want to be bored. So I'm just going to start just experimenting, right? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I try to, what if I make an eye? Why not? It's almost dry, but maybe a little bit of practice. Come back in. Remember, less water, darker. Okay. So that looks a little dry to me. I'm going to come back in with just a little bit more darkness. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water and try to blend these two tones together. I'm going to try to. A little bit of water. A little bit of water. More water because I want this to be extremely light, so I'm going to add a lot more water. So I'll start here first. Then, like that. Okay. And you know what? Also what I want to do is I want to add a background. Let's have the background be red. Why not? Okay. Okay. So, because I have a little bit of time, you know, again, this is all about experimentation, right? So let's go back to this eye that I was kind of playing around with. Maybe just add some more color. Let's see. Let's experiment, right? Come back to an old drawing over here, right? Let's add, instead of this black, let's come in with maybe a little bit of green, right? Let's see what this looks like. Right. Today, what I want you to do is really, I just want you to get more comfortable with using this, right? Remember, let's do it again, but this time, let's use the color orange, right? Darker, and as you move away, it's going to become a little bit lighter, right? Remember, the less water, the darker it is, right? And as you move away, right? Add a little bit more water, right? And you know what we can do too? Let's add a little bit of this blue. Let's just see what happens. Right? So today I want you to experiment. I also want, let's do 2 spheres. Let's have a shadow going this way and a shadow going the opposite way. But before we end this video, I want to add a little bit more darkness right here. Let's see. Now, I'm only doing this because everything is dry. So let's go in. Let's move this over like this. Now, just a light brush. There. I like that much better. And then let's go in with a little bit of orange and, you know, see what this looks like. I like that too. So I want 2 spheres. I want one shadow going this way, and I want one shadow going another way, but it has to be more realistic. You guys have a great day. That's it.